So, artificial intelligence. Recently, more and more people have begun questioning AI's potential for self-awareness, with the fear that the advancement of AI could render humans obsolete. I say, okay, yeah, sure, but what about robot slaves? Now I know what you're thinking. Snapback, why? Have you not seen iRobot or Terminator or Matrix or Ghost in the Shell? Don't mess with the robot or the robot will become self-aware and take over humanity. I know. And even the world's greatest minds in science and technology have discussed the fear of AI in the future. Stephen Hawking, Bill Gates, the Tesla guy.
I think we should be very careful about artificial intelligence. If I were to guess at what our biggest existential threat is, it's probably that. So we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence. We are summoning the demon.
Oh, and speaking of the Tesla guy, after sharing his opinions on AI, another big geek, Mark Zuckerberg, decided to share his thoughts as well.
I watched a recent interview with Elon Musk, and his largest fear for future was AI. What are your thoughts on AI and how it could affect the world?
I have pretty strong opinions on this. I'm really optimistic. Well, I'm an optimistic person in general. I think you can build things and the world gets better. But with AI especially, I'm really optimistic.
And I think that people who are naysayers and kind of try to drum up these doomsday scenarios are I don't understand it. I think it's really negative, and in some ways I actually think it's pretty irresponsible.
Let's just say Elon was not pleased with Mark's stance. In response to Mark's video, the Tesla guy tweeted, "I've talked to Mark about this. His understanding of the subject is limited." Ooh, limited. I think the weird thing is that Mark Zuckerberg is one of this generation's best coders. He should probably have some of the greatest understanding of AI. Yet ironically, Facebook ended up having an incident where two of their AIs developed their own language while communicating that the coders who programmed them couldn't understand. The robots made their own language. Okay, so you know what? Robots are smart. You know, they're good at tic-tac-toe and Mario, and they've beaten the best chess and Go players. Oh, and by the way, robots can have those games. Nobody cares about chess, and nobody knows what Go is. But I get it. We shouldn't mess with the robots, or they'll take over humanity. But in the movies, robots usually don't take over right after we exploit them. They wait hundreds of years later to a post-apocalyptic distant future, so we got time. Our descendants can deal with the robot revolution, while we get to have all the fun. So here are all the reasons we should have robot slaves by Snapback. You see, humanity has always relied upon the exploitation of humans or animals for labor. And this is not a good thing, obviously. In fact, this is still an issue that applies to our society today, but sadly gets swept under the rug. Just some food for thought for you. But you know what? Instead of spending my time contemplating the geopolitical climates that allow slavery to thrive, I thought, why don't we just have robots do all the hard stuff in life that we don't want to do? I mean, we already have robots doing hard stuff for us, like, well, they mainly make cars and steal jobs from minorities. But as technology and robotics advance, can you imagine all the stuff we could make them do for us? They could tie our shoes and then make us sandwiches, and you know what? I'll just put a list on the screen. Point is, robots could be really helpful. So why not have robot slaves? So games like Detroit Become Human and Overwatch bring up the argument, well, what if robots became sentient and self-aware? Shouldn't they be treated equally because they're basically human? I mean, if they can feel pain both physically and mentally, what makes them different from us? Well, I could make a video analyzing the philosophy of what it means to be human, or I could just say, listen, I don't care. You see, robots feel nothing. They are computers that are programmed to do stuff. And they may be smarter than us, but they will never be as psychologically complex as humans because you can't program real emotions. Or maybe you can and I'm just being dumb. You know what? Robots deserve to be exploited and treated horribly, as long as it fulfills the purpose and the pleasures of the man or woman who's using them. You see, I'm not sexist, I'm just a human supremacist. Can you imagine being morally justified in sadism and cruelty? Imagine having something willingly, absolutely submit to you without having to use force. Think about it. You have no moral obligation to show your toaster any pity because you are totally justified in feeling pleasure in its pain, as it is a construct of metal and wires that we force to heat our bread until it's partially burnt. The idea of an artificial consciousness or life form has always interested humanity, But to be honest, I feel like all these eggheads just get so used to people agreeing with everything they say to a point where they just start making stuff up. But if a mad scientist ever comes close to making the robot revolution, it would actually be pretty cool. So that was short, but you know what they say, quantity over quality, or no, it's the other way around. So yeah, this is the end of the video. Oh, raise your hand if you press the screen of your device when you saw the start button on the intro. I got you. Anyway, this video is just a joke. Our society is lazy enough, we don't need robot slaves. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all, and make sure you subscribe because I need that YouTube money. No, like seriously, it's Christmas time and I'm broke. Please subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Hammer time, they can't touch me. Hammer time, hammer time, they can't touch me. Hammer time, bedtime.